understand. You said you loved me, and that's a fact, and then you left me.
Tony Medley once again, and a welcome back to my workshop. Today's project, well, I'm saying today, it's going to be over weeks or months, I would have thought. We've decided to change 9 doors in the house with oak doors, but what I also intend to do is renew the frames, skirting boards, the flooring is going to have to be extended, and the mouldings around the doors. So I've been on with it for the last week or two, cutting the boards up. I purchased 16 11 feet by 2 feet boards, rough cut, and I've had to cut them into 6'6" by 4 inches, and obviously I'm going to put a rebate in it. But what I've also had to do is buy a router table to put the recess in where the door fits in. So I don't know whether to do this video in sections or do it as one. I don't know yet. Like I said last week, I decided not to video it. Now I'm gonna do it. So anyway, what I've had to do is buy a router table. So I'm going to do the unboxing today, and then I think I'll do it as separate videos. I'm not quite sure yet, but anyway, you'll see the outcome of it. So today, all I'm going to do is do the unboxing of the I think they call it the Workstation, and then you buy an additional one, which I have done, is the router table adapter, what fits into it. I also have the router, so hopefully it'll all go together. The one that I went for was just to match the router that I've got. I bought a Triton router, so I've bought the work centre and the additional router table attachment itself. So we'll get it unboxed and see how it goes. What we should all do before unboxing it is take the instructions out, which I didn't do. As you just seen there, the legs were a little bit wobbly. Now I've read the instructions. It's a simple process of pushing the legs into the table slightly, about 2 inches, and it will lock it into place. So we'll do that first. That seems a lot more sturdy. Now apparently there's 2 clips, I've just read in the instructions, so we can take the work table out and fit the router table. I'll just demonstrate how it's done. Then to clip it back in, so simple, even I could do it. The first thing that hit me straight away from taking it out of the box is the quality of it. The quality is second to none. I read up on them, done a lot of research before I bought the physical router itself, and it came out top on all aspects. So first impressions, it's you straight in the face, the quality of it. So what we'll do now, we'll get on with fitting the router table attachment. Sorry, before we fit the router attachment, found in the box we've got just a couple of things what needs to go on. the electrical connectors. So we'll get on with that first, and then, as I said, this needs leveling up. Read the instructions a bit deeper, and this needs just leveling up. So we'll get on with that first, then we'll fit the router table. Right, the next thing is obviously to give you an American plug adapter and the English plug adapter. So I'm just going to plug that one in. That was quite simple. That's obviously to plug your router into, and then you've got the start and stop on the right hand side. All we've got to do now is level it up with these little grub screws. So we will put a nice piece of level That was quite easy. Now it's all flush, ready to do the work, the router table. I've just read the instructions, well, in a fashion, and we have to fit these two leveling rollers. What help us it slide into the workstation itself. We then fit these three rollers into there. I think it might be best to do it from the other side so we can get the Allen key in. We then need to fit these levelling rollers into these three slots here. We now have to screw the locking plate onto the module. There's just three screws either side, and just use a Phillips screwdriver. Make sure that you get the slot in the module to the outside. Right, we now turn the table upside down, or sorry, the right way around. And what we do now, the 7 levelling nuts, insert them in. The next thing we have to do is make up the fence, the guard fence. So these go inside. Next we have the dust extractor guard. There's two little black screws. These leveling screws and the nuts, all the threads seem to have a little bit of blue paste on it, and all it's for, I think it's some type of locking device, so when it gets in it won't vibrate loose. The next thing to do is fit the dust guard, which it all comes pre-assembled, the top part. It's now time to fit the fence to the table. There's a long elongated nut what goes on the underside and a friction washer. So if you next fit the micro adjusters. They've also got an elongated nut. Start from insert it in, and screw that down. All these do is, I presume, you can turn these to micro adjust it, just giving you a bit more precision. Thing what we need to do is fit the ring. Now I'm going to be using a 32mm bit, so you just choose which one is the one what's going to be suitable. Obviously that one's too small, that one's too big, so that's the one that I'm going to use. What it tells you within the instructions, it's got some little micro adjusters on it to make it nice and level. Is to screw the three of them in. The next thing to do is fit the depth gauge, and with the router that I've got, I need number 2. The router that I use is the MOF 001. There's the 3 routers that they do. There's marked with number 1, number 2 and number 3. I require number 2. Just push it in so it's a nice tight fit, nice and level. Then we're ready to, once the router's attached, there's a wind down handle what attaches to the router for the depth for it to go up and down. Now it's time to fit the router table, so all you do is click either side, lift the workbench up, remove that, then slide it into place. And then what we need to do now is micro adjust it all again, you know, to get it level with the edges. yeah, I think the best thing is if you use your square and just make sure that it glides both ways, and then obviously you know you've got it at the right height. That was just a slight, I was letting down slightly. Right, now that we've got it all leveled up, it's time to fit the router. Now I've looked at the instructions and you have to take the black base plate off. That's for hand routing or plunge routing, whichever way you want to call it. And obviously when you fit it to a router table, it has to be taken off, and then you bolt it directly, or sorry, should I say, we've got these two connecting screws will connect directly onto the table itself. I've turned it round for easier use. Time to fit the router now. All we do is make sure that it is unlocked and it lifts okay. As you can see, Triton make 3 routers, as I said earlier on, with the plunge stick, different sizes. The model that I have requires number 2, so this one is for number 1, which is a different model. Mine is number 2, so it needs to go in there and there. So I will just lift the router into place. It needs to go in that one and that one. I think it might be better if I take it off this stand. As I said, I think it's better, or safer should I say, to connect it that way. That's it. Easy when you know how. Then lock it into place. Just make sure it's tightened down. That's it, it's not going to move anywhere. Then you can put it back into its table. Yes, I would say it's a lot better if you do it that way. Make sure that the cable goes through, because you're going to be able to control it from the table itself. Right, got that down. And all we need to do now is just let it go, drop into position. Then lock it into position, and that's it. So we're all ready now. You will route from that side. I've just turned the camera around just to show you how to fit the router. Right, that seems to be it. All I've done is put the other feather boards in, ready for us to, that's how it keeps the wood in place. So all we have to do now is I've fitted the router. All you have to do now is try it on a piece of, put a bit in the router itself, and then we'll go for it. Well, I've got it all set up now. I've got it moved into my workshop, or my garage, whatever you want to call it. It's quite simple. You have a little pole here which you put on, and obviously it alters the depth of the cut. What we're going to do now is put a router bit in. So you turn it round and the router will physically come up. one of the things that attracted me to the Triton one was when it's in the up position, it's got a safety switch that won't allow you to turn it on accidentally while you're changing the router bit. And obviously you wind it up to get the head out. Place the router bit that you require. Then tighten it up. The same safety device won't allow it. Also locks the shaft in so that you can tighten it up and it won't go down. So what you do then is lower it to the depth that you require. Just a little touch more. I've got a little piece of wood here just to make what we will try it on, and we will just make it a rounded edge. Well, I've got it all set up for use. The proof will be in the pudding. I've just put a small piece through just to try it and make sure that it's going to be working okay. As I said earlier on, you turn it on from the table itself, so we'll just turn it on and we'll send it through. I think that that is absolutely superb. I am over the moon with it. So yes, all in all, absolutely wonderful. Really pleased with the cut. That, you'd think that it had been sanded. I know you can't feel it, but yes, that is absolutely wonderful. Well, now that it's all up, what's my thoughts? As I said earlier on in the video, the quality was second to none. Absolutely over the moon with it. Very well made, and I can see, yes, they are expensive. There's no trick there getting away from it. However, all of the reviews that you see online, that come out the best. There is one thing that I would say, and it comes up in all of the reviews, that the instruction manual, or the instructions, not a manual, it's a couple of pages, is absolutely atrocious. It doesn't relate to the product whatsoever. It's, to be perfectly honest, they're absolute rubbish. As far as the table goes, can't fault it. I've tried it a couple of times and it is second to none. I'm sure it's the first router table I've had, and I've got really nothing to compare it to. However, it just gives you precision every time. There's that many different adjustments on it where you can put the finger guides through, and it's absolutely superb. It holds the wood perfect, and you get it precision, whatever you want it to do with the table and the guide. So, would I recommend it? Yes, I would. As far as the instructions, Triton, you need to look at it, and whoever wrote them in instructions needs a flea in his ear. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Catch up with you later now. Bye.